How's the week of practice been so far?
We haven't done much. Obviously the game was on Saturday night, and then Sunday was off, so really we've only been together one time. And we haven't practiced yet today. So quick turnaround and playing the same team that we've prepared for and just finished playing. That's also much different in the fact that the game's on Wednesday instead of Thursday. So it's a unique situation really for both teams. So I think it's more about being ready at 2:30 tomorrow than how much we prepare or what we do, because we're limited with the time.
What are the pros and cons of playing the same team twice in less than a week?
Well, there's a lot of familiarity between the two teams. I think you can really emphasize the things that you didn't do well to hopefully be better, and also I think emphasize the things maybe that we did well. But we have to shoot the ball better. There's a lot of things that I would have thought before our season began that could be problems. As you know, I talked a lot about rebounding for almost 2 months, and we still can be a much better rebounding team. But if you judge us on what we've done in the Pac-12 this season, I think we're the number 1 defensive rebounding team and the number 2 offensive rebounding team, and we've really improved in that area, and I really worried about that. But our shooting has really been inconsistent, and when we've shot the ball well, that's when we've been at our best. And also our defense, going as far back as Anaheim when we played in the Wooden event and won it. We really won it because we outscored our opponents, if you think about the scores of the game. But we were at the very beginning stages of being an average defensive team. But through the course of the year, we've really gotten better in that area, and we've emerged. But back to the offense, it could be a poor free throw shooting night. It could be a poor first half from 3. Even the Washington game, there's a number of things that we could do better. But wherever we get our shots from, the ball has to go in. And I hope that we can shoot the ball better. That's one thing we have worked a lot on the last couple of days, making sure that our guys are shooting the ball and getting a lot of repetitions in before we head out.
With Washington, is maybe not as simple, but as far as looking at that second half and saying you need to do those things. And
yeah.
When you look back on that, maybe what was that the difference besides the obvious shooting and turnovers in the first half? What was really working in the second half?
Well, it's what you said, and I talked about it before we played Washington. One of their gifts is they use their defense to create offensive opportunities, and they have a lot of great athletes that when they get out into the open court, a 2-on-1 for them is a dunk. And in the first half, not only did we turn the ball over, I think 10 times, but they took those turnovers and went down and converted. And when you turn the ball over a total of 18 times against Washington, it's going to be tough. Not only is that 18 shot attempts that we don't get, but like I mentioned, those are fouls and dunks and points that they can get, really not because of their offense, but because of their defense. We were better in the second half than the first half, but I thought we also played with a much more urgency in the second half. Being down 15 points, and we played with effort. In Washington, to their credit, they played the game with a lot of energy. They played hard. They jumped around the basket, blocked shots. They were highly motivated, probably very confident coming off of the win that they had against ASU. And you know what? When you play right now, there isn't a lot of room for error for us. We're not the team that can pick and choose playing well in certain segments and still at the end of the game be the winner. We have to play really well, and we have to be together, and we have to play hard. When we've done that, we've had great success. When those things haven't been in place, we've won a couple, we've lost a couple.
Think about the way McDaniels has played for them lately and the matchup, and it seems like he's a difficult matchup, and certainly was one on Saturday.
Yeah, McDaniels is a very talented young player. Those guys seem to always hit their stride at some point in their freshman year, and seems like he's hitting his stride here at the end. But his height, he just has the ability to shoot over top of people and finish above the rim. And defensively, in their zone, he takes up a lot of space. The light bulb can go on for those talented freshmen and young players at different times. And I think he's playing his best basketball right now down the stretch.
How's Dylan doing?
Dylan's doing well. I put him in the same category as Stone Gettings. There's not a lot of athletes in any sport that can overcome, a concussion, a facial fracture like Stone had. And, Dylan, I mean, he broke his nose, took a hard shot, and, played a great second half, hasn't missed anything, hasn't missed practice. And I'm sure he's really, really sore, but we expect him to play. And like I said, he hasn't missed a thing, which is, a real testament to Dylan as an athlete. All these guys have to be able to play through certain things. But at the end, you really have to listen to them, and for him to overcome a broken nose like he has, it's remarkable.
Is there a chance he has to play with a mask or anything, or practice with?
He might. He has a mask right now just to protect him. I mean, it's as simple as a basketball not hitting him in the face at the moment. But I think every day that goes by, he'll get better, and that's to his advantage. So that's yet to be determined whether he'll play with a mask or not. But he's certainly going to play.
Does he like it or hated it? I mean, especially with a shooter, you wonder if he had to. Does that?
No, I'm sure he would rather not play with the mask. But we're going to do and recommend to him what's in his best interest for sure.
Christian is such an exciting player to watch, but what did you tell him after the game or the day after about what happened and any advice maybe going forward?
Yeah, Christian is a young player. I don't think he meant any disrespect. He's, matter of fact, one of the nicest kids and most respectful kids that we've ever had here. He's just top of the line. But he's very, very young, and I think he wanted to win and reacted emotionally, and unfortunately, it resulted in a game-changing technical foul.
You've taken a team to the Pac-12 tournament when you didn't have a bye in 11. You went pretty far, and I think last year I don't think you had a bye. I don't think it was good. How can a team get on a run? I mean, you can't wave a magic wand and all of a sudden they play better, but how does a team get on a run? It's just early confidence in the first game, even if it's not one of your teams. What have you seen from other teams that enables a team to get on a run when they have to play 4 games?
Well, they play with desperation in a positive way. They don't make the game bigger than it needs to be made, but they play with tremendous effort, almost as if they don't, they can't comprehend not being able to play the next day, and that comes from within the locker room, that comes from within the players and in the team, the coaches. But you want to have some kind of that good desperation. You want to have that fight inside of you that you're willing to do whatever is necessary for your team to win. And then, I think the other part is you get really good quality play from your best players. They rise to the challenge. They have big nights. You ride the wave of a hot hand, somebody that just cannot miss and plays even better than he has all year long. That's always the storyline in March with some team. And but to be able to cultivate that, it's, I think, the focus on being the most ready we can be and learning from the last game. Like we talked about early, it's unique to play one team 2 different times in 4 or 5 days like this, and we have to try to make that to our advantage.
Do you sense that this team might have that sense of desperation? I mean, you don't have to win this tournament, but maybe you want to win at least Wednesday, get some motivation and make sure you're okay for the NCAAs? Or...
Yeah, I mean, as you know, we've always approached the Pac-12 tournament with a sense of urgency. A lot of times we were the regular season champion or we had a bye, but you're playing college basketball, you're playing at world-class arena in front of amazing fans. This is March Madness, what everybody really loves about college basketball. And, you want to play with a sense of urgency and you want to play to win. You want to play to win. If you don't win, it's not because you didn't care as much. It's they beat you. So I think that's that's what we're trying to do. I also want to congratulate Zeke Nnaji on becoming the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. It's quite an award to win when you consider those that have won the award in the past. But this year in particular, with the deep freshman class, we have 4 of them on our own team, quite a few high school All-Americans, and quite a few players that are incredibly talented that when their time ends in college, I have no doubt that they'll play in the NBA. But, this is as deep of a young group of talent as maybe we've had in our conference. I know when Lonzo Ball and Lowry Markkinen, Markelle Fultz, and those guys were here, it was quite a group there during that year. But this group reminds me of that year. And for him to stand above those other players, I think it's well-deserved because he's meant an amazing amount to our team. I mean, he's been there at Game 1. He's been there at Game 31. And he's given us above and beyond what we could have expected from him. Plus being a first-team all-conference member as well, especially as a first-year player, which same thing with Nico being on that all-freshman team and being one of the top, 15 players making second-team all-conference as a first-year college player. That's awesome achievement. And, Dylan Smith being an honorable mention all-defensive member, that means at least 3 other coaches voted for him and recognized how much he's meant to our team, in terms of guarding the other team's best perimeter player. So, I was really happy for those guys, especially coming off the weekend that we had. It was, I think, a breath of fresh air for our team.
Safe to say we would have heard by now if there weren't going to be fans let in or anything like that with the Pac-12 tournament with the virus situation. I think when we saw earlier this morning that the Ivy League had canceled, there were a couple of uh-ohs. Could it be anywhere else? Is it safe to say we would know by now?
Yeah, I mean, we rely on the Pac-12 leadership. They're going to make the best decision for number one, our membership, conference, players, coaches, et cetera, and certainly they're the best at what they do. So we fall in line with how they see it, but I'm sure they're very diligent in taking in the information and going from there.
Thank you.
Well, has there been anything about what you guys are doing changed because of all this stuff going on and talk about it, or?
We're doing the same things that you are. You read what you can do to help yourself and protect, especially the young people on our team, and managers, players, everybody. So we're no different.
Update Chase and Max's condition for.
Yeah, Chase is available to play. He's practiced and he's able to play tomorrow for the remainder of the year. And Max's status has not changed. He's dealing with his personal matter, and I don't have an update or a further comment on that.
So when you look at the whole field of the Pac-12, I mean, there's been projections of maybe 7 teams getting in, maybe 2 or 3 are kind of on the bubble. Do you think there's going to be a lot of desperate teams, or maybe a team like Colorado that's really angry the way their season finished, or what do you expect to play out this week?
Yeah, no, when you have a deep, talented conference like ours, it only makes your conference tournament that much more exciting. If you just look at tomorrow's games, they have more meaning than maybe ever before. If you look at Thursday's games, the same for that day, and whoever ends up winning the tournament, that will be a job well done for sure, because this is a very talented conference.
Are any teams in particular where you just look at and say, I don't want to beat them, or they could be on a roll this week, or
I mean, there's not one that stands out. There's many. Oregon deserves a lot of credit for being the regular season champion. So they've always played well in the conference tournament as well. So I think you have to start with the number 1 seed. They're a team that is really, really good, and they'll be a very difficult team to beat regardless of who plays them.
Thanks, Coach.
Congratulations on winning Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. What did that award mean to you to win?
I mean, it meant the world. First of all, I give credit to the Most High, because without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. He's blessed me with so many opportunities, and I'm extremely grateful for everything he's done for me. But, it's something I worked for a long time, and just to be able to get this award, something that I dreamed about for a while, is really humbling.
How did you find out?
I don't know. I was watching film with my coach, and at the end of the film session, that he told me, and so yeah.
Coach Miller or?
Coach Peters. Yeah.
Were you surprised?
Yeah, I was. I mean, because I was going up against a lot of other really good players, like Big O and Isaiah Stewart. I mean, they're both really great players, and to be able to win the award over them, I mean, it's really humbling, and it means a lot.
Have you got a chance to reflect on the season and be the fifth under Miller to win this award?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a extremely great honor to be able to get this award, especially knowing all the previous players who had also gotten this award. But I mean, right now, I haven't had too much time to reflect. I mean, I think I've really just been focusing on our next game, which is getting to play Washington a second time.
When you look around, like say the guys who made the all-freshman team and Tyrell, the guy you played with, are you surprised that, I know you know a lot of them, like you said from before, but are you surprised with how any of them in particular have played this season in the Pac-12?
No, I mean, I knew a lot of the players, even going into the season. I mean, I knew they're all great players. And so, I mean, everyone who got an award, I mean, I think that they deserved it. I mean, because they all work hard for the reward. And so, I mean, I think everyone deserves what they got. I mean, everyone is a good player.
What's this team's mindset, you think, going into this tournament? You know, it appears that you're going to be in the NCAA's one way or the other. You don't have to win this thing, but I assume maybe you want some momentum. Or what kind of, you know, what are you guys looking to do, I guess, this week?
I definitely think that our mindset right now is we're really hungry. I mean, we didn't get the win against Washington, and we felt like we played really bad. And right now we're just trying to bounce back and be the most aggressive team we can. I think that when we have good, strong starts, we just continue to keep that momentum going, keep pushing on defense, keep going in transition. I think that we can be one of the best teams in the country. So I think right now our mindset is just as focused as possible and trying to win this tournament.
Confidence in the team. Sean Miller said earlier in the season he didn't think it was as great as it could be, but then he's also made comments like, you guys can beat anybody. How do you guys feel about where your confidence is at, especially coming off a loss and a few losses in the last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had some tough losses recently, but I mean, overall, I mean, I don't think our confidence is wavering in any way. I mean, I think that we know that when we're clicking and we're playing great defense and we're moving the ball, sharing the ball, pushing in transition, that we can be one of the best teams. I mean, there are a lot of good teams, but I think that when we're doing what we do and we're following our game plan, we can have a good chance to be great.
How do you close a game? You know, is there a formula for closing a game? It wasn't an issue this past week, but in earlier games this season, you guys either had a lead and didn't come away with it, or didn't hit a game-winning shot in the last minute. What's the secret to closing a game?
You know, I think we got a lot of young guys, and we just need more experience. But I think that the biggest thing is we just can't crack under pressure. We just got to stick with what we normally do, and we have to be better in the 10th war. I know a lot of the times that last 4-minute period, we're usually getting outscored. So I think that that's when we have to be our most solid.
Sorry,
What's it like preparing to play the same team in back-to-back games?
Yeah, I mean, you don't get this opportunity a lot in any sport. I mean, to be able to go up against a team that just beats you. I mean, we're excited. We're ready for this opportunity, and I think that our mindset. I mean, we've been talking about the same things and things that we did wrong in the first game, learning from those and correcting those mistakes, trying to better prepare ourselves for the second time we play.
Well, when looking back at the film, what stood out to you the most?
I think that we just had such a slow start that the lead was just so much that it was hard to come back. We played really well in the second half, but I mean, they punched us in the mouth right from the get-go, and we kind of struggled to get that lead back.
Do you think it was a case of maybe having more urgency in the second half, or was there a pattern of getting used to that zone maybe in the first half that you guys struggled with that you overcame later? What was the key to turning around?
I don't know. I think that, it's the first half and just like the first couple minutes, we just came out really slow. We weren't as aggressive, and they were just playing great. I mean, give credit to them. I mean, they did their homework, they did their scouting, they did a great job all around, especially at the start of the game. And I think that once we got used to it and we realized that we needed to start playing better, we really were able to turn around the second half, not to get the win, but I mean, we definitely played a lot better.
Sean Miller has said during this year repeatedly, we've got to get Zeke Nnaji the ball more. How much, the challenge to do that, how much of it is the other team's just playing good defense, or the guards aren't making good passes, and how much of it is it that you have to get in there and say, I'm Zeke Nnaji, I want the ball?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think especially earlier on in the season, it was a lot easier because not as many people knew who I was, and so they weren't really scouting against me. But I mean, I think as more people had started hearing about me and scouting against me, that defenses were doing a lot more to try to stop me from getting the ball. I mean, I think when they do that, it also opens up a lot of opportunities for my teammates. So I think that, I mean, it's just something we work on every day in practice, like double teams in the post, all this stuff. And I think that we can really, if we continue to work on that, we can definitely hurt teams with that.
Does it help you guys, motivation-wise, does it help being on spring break this week? Does it make a difference as far as your focus? I mean, basketball's your, a big focus anyway, but I don't know, does it matter? You don't have to worry about classes.
Nah, I mean, not really. I mean, still have online classes and things to do in online class, but I mean, I'm just as focused as I was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't really think the spring break has an effect on my focus.
From a player perspective, what makes Isaiah Stewart so tough to defend?
I think, I mean, his motor. I mean, he just is always working. He's so strong and, like, so physical that, like, he has a seal. Like, it's hard to get around him. I mean, he can jump really well, and he's a great shot blocker. So, I mean, he just I think the biggest thing about him is his motor, and I think that's what makes him so good, just the strength in his motor.
Thanks, Zeke.
Thank you.